I want to get back to the gun debate. Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, says the House will vote next week on legislation to block suspected terrorists from buying guns. Sheriff David Clarke is with us again this morning. Sheriff, welcome back. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Stuart, and an early happy Independence Day to you and your staff and everybody at Fox Business News.
And the same right back at you, Sheriff. Now, do you think that this no-fly, no-buy bill, if it were to pass, would it work?
Well, I think they're working on the wrong thing. Let's go back to the beginning. This all came about, all this discussion, out of the Orlando terror attack at Omar Mateen. First of all, Omar Mateen was not even on the no-fly list when he committed his offense. He was on it previously, and then this conversation came up. But it has nothing to do with the gun anyway. There's a reason why Congress has such a low approval rating. This thing will probably pass the House because in the House, as you know, they can't filibuster. They have enough Republicans, and all the Republicans are asking, and I think it's what the NRA is saying is very reasonable. All they're asking is for due process. I find something very distasteful about government keeping a secret list with anybody on it, with any oversight in any process. How do you get on that list? Who makes the final determination? And how can you get off that list? What if you're on that list in error? For instance, Stephen Hayes, a Fox News contributor, was on the watch list because of some of his travel. If he'd have gone in to buy a firearm, they would have said it's been denied, and he would have said, what are you talking about? Well, we can't tell you because it's secret. I find something very distasteful in that process. So nobody wants any terrorists to get a hold of firearms, but at the same time, the government does make mistakes. We do have a Constitution. If you're going to deny constitutional rights in this country, it cannot be done without due process. I think that's reasonable.
Okay. I want you to address the very, very big picture. I think a lot of people in America are concerned about the proliferation of guns into everyday life, and I don't think they want it. Regardless of whether it makes them more safe, I don't think they want to see guys with rifles walking down the street. I don't think they want to see guys with guns in a bar where liquor is served or a restaurant. I don't think they want to see guns in schools, regardless of the arguments about keeping the kids safe. I don't think they generally want to see that proliferation of guns. Are you with me on this?
No, I don't know that that's true. Let's look at it this way. Depending on who you want to believe, over 200 to 300 million gun owners in the United States, the overwhelming majority, when I say that, I'm not talking 52, 53%, I'm talking like 99% would never use that weapon in a way that it was unintended to be used. So we're talking about a small a slice of the pie here anyway. You know, we have a Constitution. If we want to eliminate or decimate the Second Amendment, there's a process within the Constitution. That's the brilliance of that document. We can change it through the constitutional process, not by some court decree and not by some local city ordinance or some state law that takes away my constitutional rights. Let's have the discussion, try to change the Second Amendment, but the problem with that, Stuart, is that those on the left, the anti-gun bigots and zealots, they know there is no public support to decimate the Second Amendment. So they try to do it in these underhanded ways.
Okay, Sheriff Clarke, thanks very much as always, and a very great July the 4th to you and your staff right there, so appreciate you.